Odyssey released back in May, and since then Frontier have been making some steady progress and changes towards not only the game, but also the way in which they engage with the community. This week, the developers released their first issues report. This chart shows the top 20 highest voted issues and contains a status report on each of those, along with details on when each of these is intended to be implemented. Now, some of you will be aware that this is a feature that the community have been asking for a very long time now. In addition to forum posts and Reddit posts, this recommendation has also been made by the Guard Frequency podcast, Live Radio, and myself, and I'm probably forgetting a few others there as well. Now, the chart then is clearly heavily inspired by Asobo and Microsoft system with Microsoft Flight Simulator, as it actually works very well for them. So this is the reason so many people in the community have recommended that Frontier follow a similar approach. So let's get on to the latest status update and see what they've come up with. One of the first things that Frontier showed off on their recent livestream was the new Apex Shuttle redirect. This will allow players to redirect to any location during an Apex flight. This can be to a station or a settlement, either inside of the current system or even into another system. Let's move on to the issue report itself, which you can see on the screen right now. The top issue then was the problems with lighting. Status of this has been marked as fixed in update 6. Lighting then was previously very broken, with many places being extremely dark. So as I say, this has been fixed in update 6, and I looked at it in a recent video. The lighting is indeed much improved, although personally I still feel it seems a little bit off. For example, the cockpit lighting is still a little bit too bright. Now moving on, terrain textures for planetary surfaces still a work in progress. Some of this has been fixed with update 6, but more fixes are planned for release in update 7. Currently there's no release date for update 7, but at the moment it appears that Frontier might be aiming for an approximate monthly release for each of these updates. Now that is a bit of a guess on my behalf, but if it holds true, then we might be able to expect to see this sometime around September. Issue 3 is something that a number of people have definitely been concerned about, and that is the tiling patterns that can be seen on planetary surfaces. This is currently marked as investigating, with the planned fix date being listed as to be confirmed. Now I will say that personally I feel many of the planets in Odyssey look amazing now. However, it is very true that there are some noticeable problems. Frontier have said that the graphical tiling is a result of the way that planets are generated, and changing it is going to be a huge task for them, as it means coming up with a new planetary generation technique. So essentially, Frontier need to spend a lot more time looking into this. Performance and FPS fixes are still ongoing. Frontier, however, have said that performance fixes will continue all the way up to the end of this year. That's quite a long time, so it definitely highlights the extent of the problem that Frontier are facing with Odyssey and performance. Whether this will coincide with the release of console updates or the console release is anyone's guess, although do keep in mind that the console release is still not yet dated. Now here's another interesting point. Frontier are considering adding in some type of limited gameplay for players to participate in during Apex Shuttle rides. What form this takes is anyone's guess. Would it be gameplay related to Elite? Could it be a minigame like cards or checkers? What activity would you like to see here? Or perhaps you feel it speaks to a fundamental problem with the Apex travel system itself. Do let me know what you think of all of this in the comments section below. So as to be expected, the issues report also contains updates on a number of bug fixes. Some of these are gameplay issues such as the invincible Thargoid heart, which has been a problem ever since Thargoid combat was introduced. Frontier do say they are aware of the length of time that this has been investigated for, but they are still investigating. Apparently, it's a complex problem. Other bugs relate to graphical issues such as anti-aliasing and this not working correctly. The anti-aliasing fix, incidentally, is currently in progress and scheduled for a fix sometime this year. This one especially has been a long time issue, with anti-aliasing, never really been especially good in Elite, but it has been much more of a problem recently in Odyssey. So some fixes for this will be going in updates 7 and 8, but the full fix won't be happening until later this year. So as you work your way down the chart here, you will notice that various issues are going to be fixed at different stages, with some set for update 7 and others still to be confirmed. For the link to the full report, do check out the link in the video description. Overall then, this is a very good move from Frontier, at least I personally feel so. It's a great way to communicate with the community and allow us some insight as to what is going on. At least this way we know that there's what issues are being progressed, when we can expect to see some changes, as well as which issues have some especially difficult solutions and problems surrounding them. So Frontier have said that this issue tracker, this issue report, will be updated roughly every fortnight to every month, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit less, but basically it will be updated when they have some information that they feel is worth conveying to us. So do let me know in the comment section below what you feel of all of this. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.